Although I've only read 2 novels of writer Chuck Tingle, he is definitely becoming, vastly becoming, one of my favorite modern writers. Hi, I'm Annie, and it has been a while, but I'm back because it's February, and this means it is Filmtastic February every February. Me, and this year I have 2 co-hosts, Roy and Duncan. Links to their channels in the description box below. We read film fiction and film non-fiction. And you feel free to participate in this fun reading event. There are weekly prompts, but they are definitely no must. You can, of course, do all of these prompts, but if you read only one novel that is about the film industry or which is film related, fiction or non-fiction, then you have participated in this reading event. So like I said, there are weekly prompts, and for the first week it is read a book, fiction, that is about the film industry, or read a novel that has been turned into a film or TV series. So today I am talking about Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. And this is a fairly recent novel, so it is quite modern, but it is absolutely to my liking. I found this just an excellent novel. The novel is about the Hollywood film industry. It is about Misha, and Misha is a scenario writer, screenplay writer, and he made his fame, He is very good at writing scripts for horror films. But when the story starts, he has written a TV series about 2 gay agents, and he wants to give these 2 gay characters a happy ending because, well, in Hollywood, gay people almost never get a happy ending. So he wants to, he presents his script for his last episode, and the producers are not happy about his ideas for these characters. They say, well, you have to kill off these characters because, well, that's always been the case, and that's where the money is. So Misha says, well, go fuck yourselves, and he walks straight out of the office. But he is just out of the office, and really weird stuff starts to happen. He starts seeing the fictional characters he has written for his previous horror films. So you can imagine this is going to turn out a horror novel. But there is also humor in it, and the humor is quite dark, but I kind of like it, I must admit. Anyway, it's not in his head. It's not a psychological thing. Other people also start to see these characters, these fictional characters. So what is going on? Well, Chuck Tingle really makes a highly original story, and a highly modern story as well. Of course, there are classic elements of horror in it, but the overall story arc is quite original, I found anyway. So these characters are not only there to scare him, they are also stalking him, and they are also threatening his friends. So he wants to protect his friends as well. Although I'm not really a fan of blood and gore, there are some gory elements in this novel, but it is never, it's functional. It's never goes to the, it never goes as far, it's functional. It is, how shall I put it? It's not more gory or extreme gory just for the sake of being gory or for the shock value. It is, well, it's just the right amount of gore to add an extra element to the suspense of the story. And it serves a larger purpose in the story as well. So this is horror, but it's much more than your average horror novel. There are classic horror elements in it. Like, for example, he wrote this horror story about this cute little black lamb who isn't as cute as this lamb seems to be at first glance, because this lamb does not like it when you get too close. So there are definitely some classic horror elements in it as well. So it is not only a horror story. It is also about a commentary about why is it absolutely necessary to kill off all the gay characters, or have them commit suicide, or go out in a blaze of glory. It's a social commentary on the Hollywood industry. So Tingle also gives this story a deeper meaning, which I found really, really interesting. The title is Bury Your Gays, and that's the way Hollywood moguls talk about this thing which is going on in the film industry. Tingle also makes another comment on the Hollywood film industry, and that is that nowadays algorithms decide what movies should be made. And well, it's no surprise that I do not think this is an absolutely good idea, because there is little or no variation in the films that are being produced in Hollywood nowadays. So I rarely go and see a Hollywood film in the cinema. I might rent some Hollywood film on YouTube once in a while, but no. I think this is really, really a pity, but that is something for a different video, maybe. But back to this novel, Tingle doesn't only know how to keep the suspense in the story, it's throughout the story really suspenseful. He also knows how to incorporate humor, although the humor is of the dark kind, which I personally like very much. I find it funny, as well. Dark humor is for me also some sort of coping mechanism, and I think, well, for a lot of people, this can be a good way to cope with hardships in life. So there is, I must add to that this humor does not damage or diminish the horror elements and suspense in it. So that's also a good thing. It's a well balanced story, and that I find just excellent. The pacing throughout the story is just excellent. I find it never really slowing down, and the pacing isn't really fast. So it's overall a good pacing, and the plot twists and turns I found just excellent and highly original. When I think the story has ended, it hasn't an end yet. It hasn't ended yet. And normally I would say, well, put a full stop to it and don't go on about stuff that doesn't matter. But in this case, I found it just excellent because there was an extra element added to the story. And it's not an element like a short element, if you get my meaning. It's not like I have to fill pages with something because I have to, my publishers say I have to write a number of amount of pages. No, it is really a new plot twist, if you will, or an extra element, an extra problem that is being solved in the ending of the story. So there are two problems that have to be solved, and that is a personal problem of Misha, and that is the problem of Hollywood, the Hollywood film industry. So I found that really Tingle did an excellent job at that. And the characters are also very well developed, especially Misha. He is battling throughout the story with not only the characters he created, but also with his inner self, his personal growth. And we see him grow throughout the novel as well. So that gives it an extra element to the story. I find it just really an excellent novel. I can highly, highly, highly recommend Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle.